don't think you can hear it. They're done talking on it anyway.
time, Amy?
Time to continue into regular session is
I need a motion,
8:28.
I need a motion and second to, go back into regular session.
I'll make a motion to go back into regular session.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Here.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Bianski. Aye. Rivara.
Aye. I'm gonna nominate an interim chief of police, Doug Hayes, and, I'm looking for a council vote to accept the nomination.
I'll make a motion, to place on file the ordinance 1113-042020.
No,
Number nine.
Excuse me, right above it.
9.
I make a motion for the mayoral nomination of interim chief of police Doug Hayes, and the council vote to accept nomination.
I'll second that.
Augubright.
No.
Cullinan.
Can I ask you a couple of questions, Ms. Linsky, before, so that the people can understand
Yeah, no,
what's
that's
going on
fine.
here?
Yes,
Okay, being that the job has been offered to 3 people on the outside,
two.
well, this will be our 3rd person that you're bringing in.
Actually, that job wasn't really off, well, I guess it was offered, never mind, yes, 2 other people.
3
Mhm.
candidates.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you firmly believe that within the Oglesby Police Department, nobody's being seriously considered for the job, because you don't feel anybody's qualified?
That would be a
because all-
false statement.
Because all the police chiefs came from within.
We felt at this point, and when I say we, I've spoken with the mayor, that at this point, it would be best to bring in somebody from the outside with a fresh set of eyes to be able to heal the department, bring it back to order where it needs to be, and then, and during his time here, to help mentor those people who are internal, that they may grow in their position. I do not feel that people are incompetent in the police department or unable to fulfill tasks or positions beyond what they are currently ranked, but they do need some additional education. And whether it be education from downstate or other mentoring abilities that come from this Illinois Police Chief Association, that's where I'm going for, that we might build a stronger department all the way around.
And my next question is, being that we are a small department, to have an administrative chief, what are gonna be the chief's duties? Is he gonna be handling calls? Is he gonna be a 40-hour-a-week chief?
Yes,
5 days a week?
he
here?
will be here 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. That would be the minimum for any chief police position. He may work beyond those hours, but will not get paid overtime or any additional.
Well, that was the problem we had before, was, we didn't have enough people to cover shifts. And that was what our goal was, to work at getting 2 people on. I mean, this day and age, I still say it's, you don't know what it's like out there until you go on a call.
I agree with you
And
100%.
You know you're outgunned. First of all, you're outgunned, you're outmanned,
Right,
and, your next car is.
but that's a
how many-
separate question, and I'll answer about having 2 people on, because I fully support having 2 people on a shift to be out, because I don't wanna see one man by themselves. I really don't, it's asking for disaster. I want the safety for the OPD. So to answer your first question regarding what would his expectations be, would he be sitting, riding around in the car on a daily basis? No. That would not be my expectation, he'd be on a daily basis riding in the car. But will he ride in the car? Yes.
So
And will he do administrative things? Yes.
he's gonna
And
be-
will he work at the tasks that need to be addressed in the department that are administrative? Yes. Will he be part of the Illinois Valley regional, in some way, those things, I can never say that. IVRD, those are, administratively, he will be handling those things that any chief would be handling. Plus, he will be working with the OPD, as I said, to help mentor them to a higher level. So that's a lot to do.
So he's not gonna just take a guy off the afternoon shift or the midnight shift and say, hey, I'm too busy to do this. I need somebody to go out and, go down and talk to somebody about their dog barking or they're burning.
You know what, I can't answer like individual questions like that, that
Come on,
doesn't,
come on,
I really don't
let's keep-
have that answer.
Yeah, I'm just speaking for the people that wanna know what's going on in this town.
He will address the chief and he will respond to issues that need to be responded to in the community.
Okay, and you just
All right.
understand that I'm asking, because other people have asked me this, and I says, unless you come to a council meeting and address them yourselves, everybody thinks everything's great.
But Jim, you know that I can't answer a hypothetical question. Should something come up, I don't have a crystal ball to answer
No, you can't
hypotheticals.
control everything.
No, I cannot. That's why I said that about that question.
Right, but you gotta realize too, in this day and age, it does come up. Whether or not.
I understand those things come
All
up.
right, that's all I'm gonna ask you. I
Okay.
just wanted you to make yourself clear to the people
Absolutely.
why this is the way you want it, and this is, the way you guys are gonna roll with it. That's all I can do is speak for the people that came to me, that a lot of them I talked to during the election wanted to know what I was gonna do and how I was gonna do it.
Well, they deserve to know those answers. I agree.
Yeah, they deserve to be told, because a lot of them aren't, they don't follow it or they don't understand it.
All right, so what's your vote?
And your vote?
I abstain.
Aye.
Okay, Bianski?
Aye.
Rivera?
Aye. Number 10, place on file ordinance 1113-042020, appointing an interim chief of police.
Approved, not placed.
It's proved, you're approving that.
You're gonna approve that,
You're,
not place.
we're approving it?
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be placed.
that's why I split them apart. One is naming the interim chief of police, the other is the salary. The salary one will have to be placed on file.
Okay, so number 10 is accept,
Approved.
Approve.
or approve ordinance 1113-042020, appointing an interim chief of police.
I make the motion to approve, ordinance 1113-042020, appointing an interim chief of police.
I'll second that.
Augenbright?
No.
Cullinan?
Abstain.
Curran?
Aye.
Bianski?
Aye.
Rivera?
Aye. 11 is, place on file ordinance 1114-042020, establishing the salary and benefits of the intern chief of police.
Do we need to say what those, that's.
That's on, that's
It's
place
placed
on
on
file.
Place on file, I make a motion to place on file ordinance 1114-042020, establishing the salary and benefits of the interim chief of police.
I'll second that.
Augenbright?
Aye.
Cullinan? Curran?
Aye.
Bianski?
Aye.
Rivera?
Aye. Number 12, approve ordinance 1108-040620, an ordinance vacating a utility easement in the city of Oglesby. That's that little house, that house on Clark Street right by the parking lot. There was a utility easement, we don't use it, we don't need it, and they've asked to vacate.
Correct. She wants to do some kind of a expansion on her home, and that easement was put in like 1959, and we've never used it for anything. So I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1108-040620, an ordinance vacating a utility easement in the city of Oglesby.
Second.
Augenbright?
Aye.
Cullinan? Curran?
Aye.
Bianski?
Aye.
Rivera?
Aye. Next one is approve ordinance 1109-040620, an ordinance amending section 13.04.220, fees and schedule of chapter 13.04, electric utility rules and policies of Title 13, Public Utilities of the Oglesby City Code.
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 1109-040620, An ordinance amending section 13.04.220 fees and schedules of chapter 13.04 electrical utility rules and policies of title 13 public utilities of the Oglesby City Code.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski. Rivera.
Aye. Approve ordinance 1111-040620, amending TIF extension intergovernmental agreement between the city and Oglesby Elementary School District.
Now, if you have any questions on this, Herb Klein, pardon?
Microphone, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you have any questions on this, Herb Klein, who is the city's TIF attorney, would be available to answer those by phone. Basically, we are changing the agreement with the Oglesby Grade School for TIF 1 because the state of Illinois changed the school aid formula, which was what was the basis for our allocation to the Oglesby Grade School. And we're adopting a new allocation system that's consistent with TIF 6, which is the newest TIF, which the school has agreed to. But I do probably, Amy, could we call Herb just so he could briefly, because I want to make sure that I'm explaining this properly. And Herb would have the expertise on this that I do not.
Hi, Herb, it's Amy Ituda, city clerk here. Jimmy Adroni asked if we would call you in regards to any questions they might have.
Okay.
Herb, it's Jim, could you please, I basically indicated that we were changing this intergovernmental agreement due to the fact that the school aid formula has been changed, and it's just an easier way to determine what the allocations would be for the Oglesby Grade School. Is that an accurate statement or not? And if it's not, just...
Yeah, that's correct. We're amending the language as to how we calculate the payment to them to be consistent with the law as it applies now. The formula and the formula agreement really didn't work anymore under the new statute.
Anybody have any
Any
questions?
questions for anyone?
The only question I have is here, it specifically refers to Exhibit A. Same as it's indicated attached Exhibit A, which is hereby made part of it hereof, but there's no attached Exhibit A.
There is.
There is? I'm sorry.
It was handed out at the last meeting also.
Oh, this right here? That's a pretty small Exhibit A. It's like 2 sentences.
Yes.
I don't even know if it's a full sentence.
Let me see what else there,
Okay.
I anybody else?
No. Vote.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 1111-040620, amending TIF 1 extension improvement agreement between the city and Oglesby Elementary School District.
Did you have something you wanted to add, Jim?
I just wanted to add for the record that this has been negotiated with the grade school because the grade school also has to agree to this. It's my understanding they are in agreement.
Yes.
I'll
It's not just a one-way street, that's what I'm saying.
Want to say anything? I'll second it.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Next one is to approve the extension of the liquor license application to July 31st, 2020. It's my understanding the state has extended theirs, and all we're doing is following suit.
I think our liquor license all come due May 1st, because that's our fiscal year.
Yes.
And since they're closed down now, it just seems to be an additional burden to place on them. So we were gonna sort of, for this year only, follow suit with the state and just not make those renewals effective until July 31st, is that what the date is?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the extension of the liquor license application to July 31st, 2020.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. 16, to approve the extension of the water and sewer rate increase to go into effect on May 1st, 2020. It was supposed to go into effect a month ago.
Originally March 1st, but then last meeting we extended it via vote to April 1st, so now we're moving it, I think, a little further.
To May 1st.
And so we can't just lower it indefinitely until we're through this?
So,
Well,
Because even when we're able to go back out there, I don't think it's economically we're gonna be, oh, turn the light on, we're ready to roll again.
and Mayor and I had, the mayor and I talked about this over a month ago when we extended it the first time, and one of my concerns is, I know we wanna do right by residents. Right now, I know residents, there is a significant economic impact in residents' cash flow. I get that. So we want to be able to see what we can do to help them, but let's not forget, I don't want to sound heartless, but I want to make sure that we realize that the reason for this increase in the first place is because we knew that there's a deficiency in our revenue stream to match our infrastructure. And what I didn't put out last month is, so I looked at the numbers, every month that we delay this, it's about somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000 that we're losing by not putting this into effect yet. So I do think we need to think about that before when we do these extensions. I don't have a problem if we extend it a little bit longer. I don't know when stimulus checks are gonna come or what we're gonna do with that, but I caution against going past June 1st, because if we do that, then it's more than just the revenue stream we lose. We become ineligible for the community block development grants that's due this year. So I just wanna make that aware of that if we have to extend it further than that.
They're saying unemployment's gonna be at 10-15% though, that's it's nationwide, so in the Illinois Valley, it could be 15-20%, really, you gotta remember that.
And don't get me wrong, there's a reason we're extending before we start this, we're delaying it, because of these reasons. But I just wanna make sure, as stewards of the city, we still have to manage everything, you know what I mean? I wanna do what's right by residents, but we also have to not forget that there is a loss of revenue stream that's severely putting us behind.
And people are receiving their stimulus checks.
Well,
Well,
it's gonna push the wastewater treatment back farther, yes. And it's been 40-50 years already, what's another 6 months, so.
Listen,
68,000 each month.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason, am I correct that if we don't have this in place on June 1st, that we're gonna be ineligible for the $500,000 grant?
so the community block development grants are due, I don't have the exact date, I think it's June 29th or something like that. But on there, one of the requirements is that you have to be charging so much for your water and sewage fees. So if we were to delay it till July 1st, well then, we couldn't honestly put our application with the true rates that we're charging, so therefore we'd be ineligible. So we could delay all the way up to June 1st yet and still be legal as far as putting that application in. So I just wanna make that point.
We're on lockdown,
No,
now we're chasing a grant on top of everything else, this is definitely not a reason to do
Road-
that, I don't think.
Roads and water mains and sewer lines don't stop degrading. Again, I'm trying to make sure that we do right by people, but we have to manage everything. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. If things get significantly worse, maybe the answer is, I guess we can't look for the grant this year then, if we have to do that. But as of right now, I'm just putting it out to you that I want us to caution that. Anytime we just happen to extend this, that's costing the city somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000 extra. I just want to make you aware of that. So I'm for extending it yet another month because everything's so up in the air yet, but I'm just putting it out as information so you're aware. All right. With that,
It's a good thing, but I mean, the stimulus money, I mean, you're still gonna have people out of work for lengths of time, people aren't gonna be able to go back to their jobs. And I understand your point with the timeline, but it's just a horrible thing, and we have to wait ourselves through this. I
Yeah.
mean,
All I'm
like
saying
I
is-
say, just see where it goes from here.
yeah, that's all I'm saying right now is by us delaying, there is a loss of revenue to the city. I get that, but past June first, it becomes a larger loss. I just wanna make sure that we're all aware of
If we
that.
get the grant.
If we get the
Yeah,
grant.
is the word there, I think we're
We-
key on.
So from the meeting I had with them, of the people that qualify, I wanna say it was 98% of them get approved. The problem is you have to be able to qualify for it. And there's more stipulations than just the price, but that's the biggest one that was the reason we couldn't qualify in the past. All right, any other questions on that? That being said, I will make a motion to approve the extension of the water and sewer rate increase to go into effect on May 1st, 2020.
I'll second.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
Aye.
Rivara.
Aye. Approve the request from the Ambulance Association to sell tickets for the pork chop dinner between May 1st, 2020 and June 1st, 2020. And I also have a letter here from tonight, the council agenda is a letter from the Oglesby Ambulance Association requesting permission to go door to door selling tickets for our annual pork chop dinner. We realize with the current COVID-19 concerns, we might be unable to go door to door because of the personal contact with our citizens. Additionally, we are closely monitoring development in case we have to consider postponing the pork chop dinner and affiliated tag day. Still, we feel it's better to ask for permission and not use it than go door to door without permission.
I
So
would definitely not want them going door to door.
No.
Right now, we do not need to do that. Can they sell the tickets some other way?
Well, what they're basically asking, if the, lockdown, or if that's a proper word, is lifted, then they would go ahead and go door to door. If it's not lifted, they're gonna postpone it and do, and the tag day and do it in the fall.
I tell you, it will not be lifted by May 1 for them to be able to go door to door, and by June 1, I don't have that crystal ball, but that would be very optimistic. I've already reached out to ask if they would have something in place where everything is drive-through, pickup, deliver to the window kind of thing. So they could still have their pork chop dinner, people still enjoy that pork chop dinner. They can still make the money, and have the drive-through, but they'll just have to sell the tickets some other way, or have that all,
They can get them at City Hall.
get them at City Hall, or they can all
Some
do cash at the
businesses,
time.
Yeah.
John's or something, or just sell them.
So you're telling me we need to, put it on, what am I looking for, on hold, or,
They won't be
continue
going
it?
door to door. But if they have other avenues to sell the tickets, and their backup plan probably being Plan A, as everything be drive-through.
So would you be looking for to approve, like if the city clerk's office or, could be part of assisting them in selling their tickets
We
that
don't,
way, something
I don't
like
think we
that?
have to approve it.
We don't have to
They
approve it
can,
then.
yeah.
Just tell them that we're willing to help them sell
Yeah,
their tickets.
exactly, we're
Okay.
gonna help you sell them.
And I think they always
It's
didn't
an
really have
ambulance.
tickets at the night of, because they always wanted to have them sold in advance.
That way they know how much.
But that may be hard to do.
And I think they'll find other ways to sell that, whether that's online.
Sure.
They're probably looking at this way more in depth than we are.
I'm hoping so. But yeah, curbside delivery.
All right, I'll motion to approve the request from Oglesby Ambulance Association to sell tickets for pork chop dinner between May 1st, 2020 and June 1st, 2020.
I'll second that.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan, Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
I just not door to door.
Rivara.
Aye. Next one is to approve the state bids for the recoat and painting of the west water tower.
So, this is the good part and the bad part. The bad part is obviously we're gonna have to spend a bit of money, to recoat and paint the west water tower. Just so if the question comes up why we need to do it now, it is a lead-based paint that's on the outside there. If we don't get it done in the next 1 to 2 years, it could degrade to the point to where this job goes from about a $200,000 job to a $500,000 job. So we want to be able to get it done soon before there's a different procedure they have to take because of the lead-based paint. So before I make a motion for that though, if you look at your packets, this is the good part. On the back pages, you got some colored printouts of the new different designs and options to put on the water tower there. I could just go approve whatever one I wanted to, but I figured if we're gonna put up a design that looks nice on the water tower and it's gonna be there for 25 years, maybe I should get some input from other people in the council than just myself. So, the very first one you see is the one I'm recommending, it's the one I like. If you look through all of them, you'll see that there's different color options and different things. Then as you go further down, they have the other ones that look a little different are actually, they give us the option if we want to put a design on the back side.
I set them on your desk.
Are they in a different form? Are they in a different order?
No, Carrie's looking for hers and they were on her desk because she came in.
Oh, where am I guessing that?
They're on your
I'm
desk
sorry.
there.
Here, you can look at
You
mine.
picked up your
No,
packet.
I was looking at Tommy's.
I like
Right here.
number
Thank
one.
you.
I like number one as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice basic.
You just picked
There
up
you
your
go.
packet.
Now, the other question they offered though, I don't think it's necessary, but there is an option that we can put a design on the back side of it as well that you would see from the town side. I don't think that's critical, but there is some options there. If people want to do it, we could do it. It's a listening input, basically. And none of this has to be decided tonight, so don't think I'm trying to hold you to something. I just wanted to show you the different designs, because if you're gonna spend 200 grand, at least for 500 bucks, we get a nice design on something. Any questions on the designs at all or anything?
Could you just throw out the numbers if we had to take the paint off, how much more it would be compared to where we're
So-
at now?
so the thing is-
everyone knows.
So the paint really doesn't cost that much more, because obviously they're gonna put it, whether they're block letters or whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't cost you
No, I'm
more.
talking about if we didn't do it now, later, what it would cost us.
Oh, you know, I didn't,
I feel like
it'd probably be a
hundreds of
lot,
thousands.
it'd probably be a lot, yeah, I don't know. But the design itself, you're really only paying for the design, which is like $500, so it's pretty insignificant. But so they're expecting it anywhere between 180 to 240,000, so that's why I say 200,000. So, if there's no questions on the design or something like that, I'd like to make a motion to approve to seek bids for the recoat and painting of the west water tower.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. 19, discussion and decision to determine if the city of Oglesby will participate in the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity Downstate Small Business Stabilization Program.
You want me to go, I guess
Yeah,
I'll go through this?
You lead off and I'll.
Okay. The state of Illinois is offering a program that would allow businesses, they have to be small businesses as they're defined in the program, to apply for, through the municipality, to apply for grants for up to $25,000. It's a rather complicated process. The way the process has to work is the city of Oglesby has to actually pass a resolution supporting the grant request by the businesses. That's sent down to the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. The Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity will then consider whether they're going to give the city the money. The money's given to the city in turn gives the money to the businesses. Now, there are forms that have to be filled out by the business. And I'm going to send an email to Commissioner Augubright tomorrow. It's the DCEO Downstate Small Business Stabilization Program grant, the funding that's on their website. Businesses who are interested in applying are going to have to submit financial information, and that financial information is going to be a public record. That means that the information is going to be FOIable. Not only is it going to be FOIable, the concept, the way the program is designed, if I have a small business in Oglesby, and I want to apply for the program. I put my application together. Then the city of Oglesby has to conduct a public hearing to consider the application request. The city of Oglesby has to allow for participation at that public hearing. With the COVID restrictions that we're operating under tonight, that participation doesn't have to be people here in the room, but we do have to have something in place that would allow for citizens to comment and say, you know, you got an application from Prona, Peterl, and Dandrioni and Brawley LLC, but you shouldn't give it to them because of this, this, and this, or there are reasons why you shouldn't give them, you shouldn't grant that. There has to be an ability for people to do that. We have to have the applications completed before the city of Oglesby holds the public hearing. And the final kicker is this is a $20 million grant that's first come, first served. So it's not something that we can say, well, let's see how this plays out and maybe we'll decide 3 weeks from now. Because 3 weeks from now, by the time we got the applications in from the businesses and by the time the city held the public hearing and sent the resolutions to DCEO, the grant money may be gone.
And so there are a ton of programs out there that they're all rolling out right now, so a lot of business owners don't know which one they do, so I stress research which program would work best for you. This specific program has a lot more complications and hoops to jump through than the SBA loans, that kind of stuff from what I understand between all of them. But again, do your research, and the city is going to be taking anyone that's interested in this program. Please contact us by next Wednesday and let us know if you're interested in this. And again, please research the topic at hand and make sure this is a specific program you want, because there are a ton of programs rolling out right now, both state and federal, and just try to find which one works best for your business. And if this is it, please do let us know so we can move further with this application.
Yes, and there are, you know, income verifications, there are disclosures of business income, there are disclosures of bank statements, so there's business information that will be part of this grant that will become a public record. So I don't know, some businesses may want to apply despite those, I don't want to say restrictions, but despite those conditions, and some businesses may not. It's different from if my law firm wants an SBA loan and we go to a Illini State Bank and we go to Tom and we say, hey, we want to apply for an SBA loan, he can send us the paperwork, we can fill it out, we can submit it to him, but it's not a public record. I mean, you know,
No, it's just between the bank.
Illini decides whether they, you know, whether they're going to submit it to the SBA or not. The SBA decides if they're going to approve it, but it's not a public record. These things are different. This would be a public record. I have advised Mayor Revar, and I think I've spoken to some of the other commissioners about this. I don't know if there is going to be any interest by Oglesby businesses. If there is, Oglesby is probably going to need to find someone to assist the business in completing the parts of this form that have to be completed by the business. So the reason that I think Commissioner Augubright is suggesting that the city would like interested businesses to get back to the city by no later than next Wednesday. The reason for that is then we can start the process of trying to ramp up and, you know, and apply for this or assist businesses in applying for this. I do believe tonight the city of Peru, for example, is holding, I think, an informational meeting. They're just kind of like we're saying, by next Wednesday, if businesses are interested, please contact the city clerk's office. Peru is having a hearing tonight just to see if they had interested businesses or not. But it's on a fairly tight timeline because, like I said, we can't, well, I shouldn't say we can't, but it may not do much good for the Oglesby businesses that are interested to submit the application, you know, the third week in May. The money could be already gone by then. So that,
And 20 million for the whole downstate Illinois is not that much at all, so this is kind of a hope, I would say.
yeah, I mean, there are just on the checklist, and Tom, I'll get through this tomorrow, but just some of the checklist items. Net income verification from the benefiting business, you know, that's gonna be, if they are a partnership or a corporation, their tax return, if they're sole proprietorship, their Schedule C on their income tax return, copies of most recent bank statements, and documentation of employee status from the benefiting business. There's a lot of stuff that has to get put together, and that has to be compiled and available for inspection when I publish the notice in the News Tribune of the public hearing. So it's not like I can publish the notice and we've got 7 days to get the stuff together. No, the stuff has to be available for inspection when I publish the notice. So just, you know, those are like the timelines that we're dealing with.
All right, it's old business now, right? Yeah.
Do you wanna vote?
We're at this point, I think we're just, if there's someone's interested, they're gonna let us know.
And then you'll have to,
We'll figure it out once we find out if anyone's interested for this specific program.
So you're just gonna table it for tonight?
Well, this is just a discussion though, I think.
It is just a
It's
Yeah,
not,
this is-
Yeah, there was an action, it looks like.
It wasn't an action item, I don't think, it's just, you know, that we have.
Discussion and decision.
Oh, it does say decision.
Oh, well,
I guess the decision could be by Wednesday.
all right, let's table it then.
Well, is Wednesday a good enough timeline for us to still be able to take action
I
and then
thought
get?
part of this is to get it in place and then to see if it fit.
Well, I think we should field interest first and then make sure that the people that are interested are qualifying and that when we do move forward,
My only
they have a
concern,
chance.
I agree that that makes sense, but my only concern is if we are waiting a week before we even determine if they're gonna, I'm worried that that is so much time, because even if a week later they say yes, and we say, all right, get it to us by tomorrow, that's still another 8 days past that we have, before we can even do a hearing, right?
So Thursday, we're open, Friday, we're closed, so we wanna do it Monday then?
I'm just saying,
I'm okay with moving it up, I'm just worried
yeah,
3 days is not enough for
I
people.
I know, but my thing is,
And all the programs are rolling out like this, everyone's rushing in, they have no idea what's going on with a lot of the programs right now, and this is,
If I could make a suggestion to you, obviously you're gonna, I believe an applicant is gonna probably need some assistance. Either the city is going to have to, you know, offer someone to assist them at some, you know, cost to the municipality. My thought would be, and I guess my suggestion, and this is kind of arbitrary, but if you don't have more than 2 businesses, 3 businesses, you know, pick a number, express interest, or if you have at least that number express interest, that, you know, we would try to, the clerk's office or the mayor or somebody would have permission to try to get them, you know, find someone that can assist them in putting this together. In answer to your question, the North Central Illinois Council of Governments is not assisting in handling these,
I understand that.
because that's who we would normally, you know, use.
No, they're not, they won't help us.
my thing is, you know, I wanna help our struggling small businesses if they're out there. You know, if we have to bend over backwards to put together a hearing or a meeting or something like that, that's great. But I still want it to be on them. If they have to get this application together, you know, they have to be able to make that decision quickly and be able to get their information together to put it,
Correct.
you know. So, I mean, we have to be able to work together on it. Well, I mean, the city can bend over backwards as far as hearing goes, but I can't beat a drum to make a business fill out their application faster.
And I think Tammy made a good point, and it's on the onus of the business owner to determine which program is best fitted for them, so. they have to do a little research.
I would contact their bank most likely, because the
Yeah.
banks know way more about this than I even do, that kind of stuff, because I'm not even, I'm not a banker, I'm a financial advisor, but on that side, they definitely are all, this is a day-to-day, they're following this day-to-day
I
right
mean,
now.
we can make a deadline to say this is when we need to have them by, but I'd still like to urge people that if they think this is something they really wanna do, don't wait till the deadline, get our information sooner, because if we have to research how we're gonna get them their help, or how we're gonna do the notices or anything like that, we need more lead time. Otherwise, as you said, 20 million for the entire state of Illinois, that's gonna get chewed up pretty quick.
Yeah.
The public hearing notice is straightforward, that's in the documents that Becca has
Yeah.
put out. It's just the other, there's, let's just go through, and there's just a checklist from DCEO, completed submission checklist, that's what this is. Letter of transmittal, that's no big deal, that's just for the city. State of Illinois DCEO uniform grant application completed by the local government. Applicant project information, local government and benefiting business, you know, tell us a little bit about your business. Uniform, uniform GATA budget, I think that stands for Government Accounting Transaction something, budget, which, you know, has to be completed. Project summary from the benefiting business, net income verification from the benefiting business, copy of most recent bank statements from the benefiting business, other supporting documentation from the benefiting business, documentation of employee status from the benefiting business, council resolution of support. That's simple enough. That's 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. Resident participation, that's, you know, that's the public hearing. Local government certifications, business certifications, they have to prove that if they're a corporation, you gotta get a printout from the Secretary of State's office. Mandatory disclosures, conflict of interest, fair housing resolutions, SAM registrations, I can't even tell you what a SAM registration is. IRS certification letter, HUD exempt categorically, HUD exempt, FEMA, FRMA, business location that they're not in a floodplain. I mean, there's.
And so are these all the different organizations have to give this business this
Well,
material, or would they
part of
have-
it's gonna be done by the city, but
Okay.
some of it's, part of it's gonna be done, working with,
Because if you gotta go to all these departments at a time, I don't understand how the program's gonna function, but we'll see.
Anyway, just FYI for everybody, and if the businesses are interested, they should get a hold of the city so that we know what the next step is gonna be, because the city's gonna have to get someone to help them put this
Definitely.
together.
Guess we'll move to old business. Trident Performance.
I was asked at the last, council meeting, to bring back some information on, how Trident is doing. And there was a summation that was given, from 2013 through 2019. The Oglesby agent during that, 6-year time frame handled 120 narcotic cases, and 23 of those occurred in Oglesby, Illinois. These are just some stats. During that time, there were a total of 28 narcotic cases that occurred in Illinois, and that there were 31 Oglesby residents arrested on those narcotic cases. You can see the Trident arrests from 2013 to May 17th of 2019, when all this was pulled together. During that time, there were 918 arrests, which I think that's amazing. Trident seizures that occurred through that time frame, dollar-wise, we're talking $3,358,857.90.
So
Yes.
is that cash, or is that including the drug value as well?
Cash.
Cash, okay. Just wanna know.
And then there were fines associated with,
Yeah.
during that time frame, the fines were $412,868,000. During this time frame, and this was up till May 17th of 2019, so 9-10 months ago. Trident has dispersed them to the member agencies, let's see, one to us, $121,364.82, and I believe as of today, there was a little bit, $150,000 in that coffers?
Yeah, drug fund?
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. Now, the drug fund, the dollars that are received from Trident can be used, to, let's see, what, do we have it written down? For narcotic-related purchases, training, and education. This is the first year that we are having to actually keep track of the expenditures that are made with these dollars. But what you can't do is go out and fully, like, we're gonna use some of the money for our new police truck. And, but we can't use the whole thing because the whole thing is not used for narcotics, and so forth. Does that make sense? But a portion of it is, and so then we can apportion some money to that.
It's kind of like TIF, like you're saying, like if it's something that's not all in the TIF area, but part of it, you use a portion, a percentage of it.
So I hope that answers your questions about what's going on with Trident dollars and what's come in and how we're spending it.
Thank you.
And then the next one was actually, when we talked about putting $200,000 in the money market, I actually made the motion to approve it, but I had asked what our return on investments were. And I believe, Tom, you said that they're pretty much the same.
I said they're pretty low right now is what I believe I said.
What 200,000 is this?
From the,
It's for the Seneca Square
Oh,
grant,
we had to approve the, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
and so I just,
which the interest money goes back to the state of Illinois, just to
oh,
clarify.
does it?
Yeah.
Well,
So we had to do that, if I remember right, we had to do that because it was a requirement, right?
Yes.
For the grant, yeah.
this was just happened to pull, and it doesn't have, Illini State Bank, where we put it, says it's unknown, and that's not real unusual for that, sometimes not being known when you're pulling it, so.
And they fluctuate right now like crazy,
I
so.
imagine they are.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned with that being an unknown, but when I'm looking at it for the $100,000 balance, because we would have been putting in two, Heartland, which we use a lot, was at 0.80%, which was double the next in line, and I don't know what Illini is, but you're looking at anywhere from, $100 a month return on investment for just $100,000 up to $263. That's kind of a big jump, so I didn't know
If it wasn't for the state of Illinois telling us that should have been deposited 6 months ago, we probably would have took our time to find, we wanted to get it deposited that day was our goal when we did this. So
But
that's
all
why.
this interest earned just goes right back to the state if we don't use that
Yes,
grant.
yes.
So,
well, I still want to be fiscally responsible.
Whatever it takes to save Illinois.
there you go.
$1
I
at
like
a
it.
time.
There you
$1
go.
at a time. We're gonna need to bail out eventually. And Tom, I made the motion to
Oh,
to
and
accept
I
and
understand.
approve this. I just wanna say that next time when we do stuff, when we're gonna put stuff in money market and that maybe we
And
could have some
If
of
we
this
had time
information.
again, it would have been a
I
little bit
understand
different.
your need for speed.
Okay. Moving on, I see in the packet, we had a, documentation, the Schmidt Trust to the city of Oglesby, that property is ours.
Yes.
So that means we have to move to get liability insurance and
Yes.
et cetera.
Yes. We need to make sure it's added to our general liability policy. I'm assuming that property is in the TIF district, am I correct or
Yes.
incorrect? It
Yes.
is? Okay.
It's TIF 1.
That gives you more flexibility for, disposing of the property,
Mhm.
if that is your, I assume that's your
And,
intention.
well, I think we should RFP it just to see if we get something or not, and then we can tear it down. somebody else is
I
willing
believe-
to, I'll let them, so.
I believe that, Sugar was looking at possible some grants where we could use it to tear down that building, as well as we've got a couple other commercial buildings in the downtown area and in a residential area that, we needed to look at to take care of. With that being said, public comments. Are there any public comments? Nothing? Commissioner reports.
I actually have a report. I see a ton of golf carts and ATVs out right now, great and all, but please remember not to go down Columbia. That is the only road in Oglesby you cannot go down, so please do not go down it.
Except to cross the street.
Except to cross it, you can cross it, but please, I've seen it multiple times in the last week of people just turning down Columbia going, and that's not allowed. And I'm not gonna be the one to give you a ticket, but eventually, if it gets out of control, the state will be the one giving everyone a ticket, so let's try to stop it now while we can.
Did you have a public comment? Okay, hold on, Drew. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
State your name, please.
Drew Merriman. Before you went to closed session, I did hear the attorney say that do not cut the feed. And while you were on closed session, we could hear you. And somebody did cut the feed. So isn't that a violation of the Open Meetings Act? Because we're doing this meeting because of the coronavirus.
I don't know. It's the honest answer, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows.
I thought the feed wasn't cut, they just put music over
Drew,
top of
what I
the
can
feed.
tell you, the feed was cut just for a brief time to move the camera away from where closed session was held, because we were getting messages that you could hear bits and pieces of audio, so it was cut for a very brief time to move the camera. I think if you noticed during the time it stopped and started, the angle of the camera was moved for that reason only.
Right. Well, you know, you guys are there running it at City Hall. Why couldn't you just turn down the volume?
You can't do that on a live feed.
Well, I was kind of surprised they didn't go down to the BB gun room because that's the biggest room in the basement, and they could have held their meeting right there.
And those chairs are not 6 feet apart, there's no way to do that. The city clerk's office has the largest space available, that's why they chose to do it there. I can speak on that. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any,
Commissioner Gary?
Oh, yes, thank you. From the fire department, they had 10 calls in the month of March, so down just a little bit from their normal. We did establish a burn ban, and actually Fire Chief Paparella brought it to my attention that most of the surrounding cities have also issued the ban because of the virus, and he thought that this should actually be a council decision because it really had nothing to do with emergency with dry weather and not burning. So he deferred that to you, Dom, and I believe then you made the announcement that there is a burn right now in effect. We will see how it goes. Basically, the no burn order is because people with the coronavirus or symptoms with the coronavirus even suffer from respiratory illnesses, and the fire really bothers those respiratory ailments, so we have decided to cease those for the time being. I don't know that it'll be a permanent cease on the burn or not. We'll go from there. Police department, they did receive from Ray Gatza out at Advantage Logistics. They donated several disinfectant wipes, hand sanitizers, and some N95 masks to the department. So we'd like to see those acts of charity and really have a shout out to Ray Gatza at Advantage Logistics for doing so. The ambulance, they just reported that they had 75 calls in the month of March, with 29 of them being transfers. That's all I have.
All right.
Jason?
Thank you. Street department, kind of relates a little bit to the burn ban. We do our spring and fall chipping that we announce every year. So the week of 4 May through 8 May, we will be doing our chipping. So plan accordingly, I guess. Water department, on the 27th of April, Tessa's going to be doing their hydrant flushing. They're expecting it to last about 4 days, so if you do experience a little drop in water pressure, good chance there's a hydrant nearby being flushed. Electric, this really isn't related to electric, but it kind of relates to Mayor put out about the yard waste bags. So a little bit of an issue. At the electric department, in our fenced-in area is where the dumpster is. So we've had a problem where the dates and times are listed of when you can bring that. We've had some people coming outside of those dates and times, and they just are putting bags outside the fence line. Well, the whole purpose for Republic not picking it up is because of coronavirus stuff right now. So if our electric department or street department personnel have to pick up 100 bags to put in the bins themselves, it's kind of defeating the purpose. So there's some signs up there. Please respect the signs and the drop-off times. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Kelly?
I guess other than the park closing announcements, that's all I've got right now. So further notice.
Doug's gone over the burn ban. Just a reminder that all city employees will be allowed to carry over any unused vacation time for the fiscal year 2019-2020 due to the virus that we've got going. Jason covered the yard bags, and the times are set down there, and we ask the residents to please abide by them when they're open. The city will exercise its right to delay responses to FOIA requests due to the COVID-19 virus. We will respond to all requests in a timely manner. I'd like to remind our residents that the micro pantry that we have out here needs donations. Unfortunately, fortunately, I should say, we're able to provide some assistance to those in need. We thank the residents for their cooperation as we all work our way through this crisis. And I want to thank the employees for all that they are doing to keep the services working. Got something today, and maybe this is some good news. It's from Star Union Spirits. We would like to donate 4 gallons of Star Union Spirits and sanitizers to the city of Oglesby. We are allotting these 4 gallons to the city of Oglesby Police, EMS, Fire Department, as well as Oglesby City Hall. We also plan to donate multiple gallons of Star Union Spirits and sanitizers to the Illinois Valley Community Hospital. I just wanted to thank them for their donation, especially in these times, and just trying to publicly acknowledge the good work that so many people are doing. With no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, she's good. I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivara.